A quick review of Mortal Kombat X. I'm just going to do a list of some pros and cons. This is a personal opinion, so don't take this as facts. Some of them are facts, obviously, but yeah, you don't have to take my opinion on at all. Obviously, this is just what I think. Right, starting off, number one for the pros, new combatants. There is a range of new combatants from the newer generation, like Takeda and Jackie Briggs, to brand new characters like Aaron Black. There's some returning characters, like obviously if you played Mortal Kombat since back in the day, Shinnok, that's a returning character. Right, now for a con. Microtransactions. This is really annoying because one of the biggest things that I hate about this game, and trust me, I do actually love this game, is the fact that Goro is already on the disc, but you have to pay $4.99 to buy him as a character. It just gets on my nerves a bit. I understand with DLC because they're not actually on the disc and it's something that you're paying for that you don't have, but Goro, you technically already have him because he's already on the disc and you're just paying to unlock a feature that's already on the disc. Another downgrade to microtransactions. There's an achievement, obviously, for people who play the game will know what the crypt is. In the crypt there are graves that you can basically get fatalities, like concept art, music and stuff like that you can unlock. By unlocking these items, what you need to do is get coins. By getting coins you have to play either test your luck, test your might, a faction war or any sort of match. You get coins basically for matches. Well, you can pay $19.99, I don't know what it is in America, but you can pay $19.99 if you really wanted to unlock every single item in the game already, which kind of defeats the purpose of playing the game. Also, for people who aren't that good, and I don't really agree with this, you can buy easy fatalities. What actually happened to playing the game and learning the fatalities? Furthermore, the fatalities aren't hidden anymore, and they're not as hard as they used to be. And honestly, some of the fatalities are like easy, so I just don't understand why they put this function in. Right, another pro, quitality. If you're playing online and someone, you're playing player versus player and someone quits out of the match, it will do a quitality. The player will explode, it will come up and say quitality, so it's kind of like the way that NetherRealm are getting back at people who are disconnecting from matches, in a sense, which is quite fun. A con, there's no stage fatalities anymore. There used to be, but for some reason they decided to take this function out. Right, for a pro. Faction kills. They're not the best sort of fatalities. Obviously, fatalities are a lot more gorier. Brutality is obviously a lot more gorier. But depending on what faction you are, you know, White Lotus, the Brotherhood. I can't think of all of them right now, but they all have different faction kills. Sorry, for when you're participating in the faction war. Another pro, obviously, is the faction war. You have 6 different factions. You compete every single time that you play the game. You earn faction points towards your faction every, I think it's week or maybe every 2 weeks. A faction war will end, one faction will win, and you'll be rewarded coins and points for winning. So that's another good thing. A bad point is that Mortal Kombat X is actually a reboot of Mortal Kombat 4. So for a lot of people who have just bought Mortal Kombat and just got into the franchise thinking this is a new game, it's not actually a new game if you know the story. Good feature. A good feature of the game is the crypt. They've completely redesigned the crypt, where before you could still buy items and stuff, you know, out of the graves, but now you can actually physically walk around it, and obviously there's the jump scares and the fact that you have to collect the different items itself to be able to maneuver through the whole of the crypt to get to the end and to get the Kamido. Bad point. I actually play the Mortal Kombat mobile game, but a lot of people don't play it because it's just literally a tap and play sort of game. It's very easy. It doesn't take any sort of skill. Honestly, I've played it at any sort of in any sort of state and I can play that game. But basically, if you don't play the mobile game, you can't unlock all the skins in Mortal Kombat X. Like for instance, Johnny Cage as a mime. you can't get that skin unless you play the mobile game, which in a sense is making you play the mobile game. Not everyone wants to play that game, but unfortunately, it's just one of them things, I guess. They did the same with Injustice, which is obviously made by NetherRealm and Warner Brother Games. Right, another good point. Another good point is interactable items. If you've played Injustice, you would know what this is. Basically, if you're in a match, it'll come up and say RT or R1. You press, and basically you can either throw an item or you can use it to smash someone's head with it. It's quite a cool little addition that they've added into the game. Obviously, it's good and it's bad, because if you're having a close match, some people can win by just literally smashing your head into something right at the end. But yeah, right. And now for another bad point. I've already mentioned this, obviously paying for a player that's already on the disc. DLC. You have to, obviously there was DLC in MK9, you have to get the DLC in order to get every single character. Not every person wants to do this, but a lot of MK fanatics would want to do this. And yeah, it's a bit of a rip-off in the sense that obviously this is the second time I bought this game. I bought it brand new originally and I paid £55. Then I paid £38 about 2 months ago when I rebought this back. But to get everything in this game, you need to buy the Kombat pack, which is £25. If you buy the game brand new, it's £50. So that's £75. That's not including some of the extra skins like Blue Steel, Sub-Zero, that you have to pay for. So it's a lot of money that you'll end up paying out if you want every single item and every single thing in this game. And the last two good points for this game, I would say, every character obviously has 3 variations. So one character itself basically has 3 different fighting styles or modes that you can choose from, which make the character completely different depending on which variation that you're using. And there is a ton of skins in this game. Like, there is a ton of skins. So yeah, it's one of them games. If I could overall give a rating of this game, I would say 8 out of 10, just because sometimes the graphics on this game do mess up and it does look a bit blotchy, and the pure fact of microtransactions and no stage fatalities and having to pay for Goro when he's already on the disc, and the whole mobile MK situation like I told you. But otherwise there's nothing wrong with this game. Great fun to play with 2 players and online, and all around it's a brilliant game. So this is GMG News, and thank you for watching my review, and have a good day.